So some exciting news that came out from the XFL recently. The Football Advisory Network is now live. Kenny, I know that you were kind of involved with something similar in NASCAR, so why don't you kind of give us the lowdown of how the NASCAR section works. Basically, from my understanding, is the F.A.N, the F.A.N, it's going to be a place for fans to go, give feedback, interact with teams, and fill out surveys, things like that, just to get more involved in the decisions that the XFL's made. Is that how NASCAR works?
Yeah, so about 2 or 3 years ago, NASCAR started what's called the F.A.N Council, and I signed up for it. And obviously, kind of funny, I'm wearing my NASCAR Jimmy Johnson hat today, so it's very appropriate.
Sorry about that, by the way.
I know he's retiring. I'm sad. But so what it is they started sending out, like you talked about, surveys, questions, and not just like multiple choice or like yes or no or anything like that. They wanted fans to type in actual opinions and thoughts on certain issues. One of them being like how the merchandise is sold at tracks. And you know what? They actually adjusted it. It went from having one centralized location to they went back to having individual trailers for drivers and teams because that was a very popular opinion for fans. They talk about on-track activity, like how they like the racing. If you went to the race that weekend, like when Brandon and I went to Atlanta earlier this year, I was able to fill out a survey and say, hey, this is what I enjoyed about our being at the race. This is what I didn't enjoy. This is what I like to see. So it's very in-depth after every week, but then they also do a quarterly and an annual one that takes, 10 to 20 minutes to fill out, and it's super in-depth. And they've actually done a lot of marketing and a lot of maybe not necessarily competitive rule changes about like aerodynamics and stuff, but rules and championship points and stuff like that. They've actually adjusted a lot of these competition rules based on what fans want to see. Yeah. So NASCAR's done a very good job with that, and hopefully the XFL kind of follows that same model, which it sounds like they will.
Yeah, it's just another way that they put fans above all. That motto that they use constantly when talking about fan engagement, getting fan feedback. So this is, it's pretty bare bones right now, guys, since they just launched it. But you can kind of see how the interface works here. And this is for any fan. You can go to XFL.com, and you can sign up to be in the Football Advisory Network. And it's just like a great community where you can give feedback. You can interact with posts. They're putting up, some fan-specific content, as you can see here, giving team updates. So I feel like, this is just the foundation. They're going to build on this as they go throughout the year. So it's just another way to get the fans involved in the process and what they're doing. And I think, especially as a startup league, this is a huge move for the XFL in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. I work in marketing, and one of the hardest things to do is get constant stream feedback from your fans, your customers, your potential customers. And that's essentially what this is, right? It's a way to keep your finger on the pulse and know what the fans think of your product, both on the field and off the field, and then for constantly evolving the game to where the product is really, really good on the field, and it's exactly what we all want to see. So I think it's a fantastic idea, and I applaud the XFL for instituting this really early, right, and starting to get this going. So obviously we're giving our feedback, but also it's a way for us as an XFL media outlet to see what the fans are talking about as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. It's absolutely
it's huge. It's huge for us, but it's also huge for the league in order to create an awesome product. And like I said, Kenny works in marketing as well. It's in order to keep a constant pulse and changing the product, you have to have this information, and this information it will now be streaming in when the league's really kind of going full board.
So it's also organizational leadership 101 for the most part. You're creating buy-in with the fans. I feel like now I have a stake in what's actually the product that's being put on the field, and I'm going to be a lot more invested in that product now that I know I have a voice with this.
That's a great point.
Network. So it's a great marketing move, but I also think it's a great organizational move as far as just creating buy-in with the fans.
So the XFL is giving you that avenue. Use it. Use your voice. FootballAdvisoryNetwork.com. Sign up. Anybody can do it, and you can give your feedback. And the league is saying that they're going to take, from the surveys, the questionnaires, the feedback that they get from the F.A.N. they're going to take that information and implement things from it. So your voice matters in this process.
If you have concerns about if they really are going to listen to it, I hate to keep going back to like auto racing stuff, but so NASCAR and an organization called IndyCar are big rivals. And one of the questions that's consistently come up on the NASCAR Fan Council is, should they cross promote? Because they race at a lot of the same tracks, just at different times. But should they cross promote together? Like have doubleheader weekends, IndyCar races a Saturday, NASCAR races Sunday, vice versa. And there's been a grassroots movement between both fan bases to do that, because high tides raise all ships in motorsports. And now you're actually hearing rumblings of that actually happening. Like, this is a legit reality. This is something that started on the NASCAR Fan Council and is now set to become a reality after 2021. So that they do listen. This is a big deal.
Yeah. So
yeah,
go ahead, Pastor.
My only worry though, Kenny, is sometimes I think fans want things that they really don't want. So like, we want it to get the play right on the field, right, with like pass interference. Well, now that pass interference call for like the NFL has just gotten ridiculous at this point. What's a catch? What's not a catch? So this instant replay. So we want an instant replay as fans, and now it's gotten to the point where I don't like instant replay, I think, at this point, because it's just slowing the game down so much, and it's just so boring. So I guess really my question to you, Kenny, from the auto racing standpoint, has there been rules implemented that the fans wanted that actually was a detriment to the organization NASCAR?
I would say no as of right now. And granted, it's only about 3 years old, so it's a small sample size. But my guess is NASCAR's probably not taking like, if the opinion is like supported by like 58% of the fan base, they're probably not implementing that. It's probably something like, hey, 95% of the fan base wants this to happen. And NASCAR's a little different than football too. So you can't really compare apples to apples on that. It's really apples to oranges because there's so many dynamic things. But from what I've seen, it's generally the heavier opinionated stuff that gets pushed through.
Yeah, this is just going to be a piece of the decision-making process.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a large piece, and I think it will be, but there's other things that they have to take into account when making decisions around football operations, things like that. So, but visit footballadvisorynetwork.com, sign up, and use your voice throughout the season, because it's only going to build from here. It's super exciting that they've launched this, and we'll keep tabs on it at XFL Chalk Talk. You can probably interact with us on the Football Advisory Network. So look out for more from F.A.N. moving forward as we head towards the regular season. What's up, football fans? Visit XFLChalkTalk.com to get the latest analysis, discussions, interviews, and news from around the league. You can also sign up for our email list so you can receive notifications on when content is posted focused on your favorite XFL team.